Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel for OCD recovery. Today I want to talk about a common mistake, the false dawns, a mistake that every single person on their journey will make, a mistake that thousands of people are making currently as we speak that will more than likely, 100% probability, have a massive spike, relapse, and have to learn the hard way. I'm just a big believer when it comes to anything in life, but specifically OCD and anxiety recovery, because when you're feeling bad, you'll feel like you'll never get better. When you're feeling good, you'll feel like you're invincible. I've made this mistake a million times. But the moral of the story is, and the purpose of this particular video is, you're just not as good as you think you are. And a lot of people, including myself, depending on your culture, where you come from, the background that you come from. Like for me, I was grown up in a very Italian, Irish, blunt, A-type, Jersey family. And a lot of the people around me were like, they just had that very braggadocious, hey, dude, how you doing? You a fucking idiot. So someone like that, that's a product of their culture and their environment, is more than likely not going to be very open-minded in the beginning. So you don't want to push people off their high horse, but it is my job to tell people, you really do not understand what you're dealing with. You're dealing with one of the worst mental health disorders known to mankind. You have it. You have that disorder. So why would it be as simple as you read one book, 7 weeks go by, you get a little bit of relief, and it's cruise and plain sailing from there? It's not going to be that way. Before I go any further, please subscribe. Hit that like button below. Please reach out to Phil at phil@ocdrecovery.com to learn all about our subscription services that are just packed out like crazy. We have weekly, bi-weekly accountability, sometimes even twice a week if the person's in a really bad spot. We do tend to work with the worst cases on earth. People have been to 7 to 8 different well-intentioned therapists, coaches, spiritual leaders, centers, the most expensive centers on earth, to come our way because they find our content, like many people think. These individuals are inside my head. I've never heard anyone explain OCD at the level that these individuals do, because we've had it. Just like I always use that example, I could read 50 books on World War II. I have no idea what it's like to storm the beaches of Normandy or to I can read a 700-page textbook on parajumping. I have no idea what it's like to jump into a war zone. I don't have the emotional experience. And emotional experience with a lot of things rules over everything else. And just the anecdotes of working with OCD day in, day out, and coming out the other side myself. So again, before I go any further, phil@ocdrecovery.com. Please reach out to learn more about our services. Anyway, because there is hope. If you're under 1 year and you put all the work in, you've read every book on the reading list in 12 months, which is rare. You have done all the exercises on paper numerous times. You have built your life. You are still in the beginning. No, Nick, there's no way. That's not possible. It is. And I really have to be very blunt about this. You are not different in the sense of I'm smarter, I work harder. I am talking from the deepest experience from my core as someone that typically has better discipline and internal drive than most people. So I was thinking to myself, I'm going to be able to just power through this, read all the books in 2 months. I get what they're coming about. I remember thinking this, I'm just being honest with you. Yeah, the other people in my group are just lazy people. Like, I know where I'm different. No, I wasn't. I had my own uniqueness of calling victory too early, not taking certain things seriously, not being honest with how much OCD was all over my life. Let's say I work with 15 to 20 new people every month for years on end. So it compounds. Or obviously I work with lots of people because all the repeat people coming back, new people, it's intense. So if you get a group of, let's make it a clean 30. Get one new person a day that comes in 1 month, January of 2025. 15% of them to 30% of them will, for whatever reasons, don't need to know, have done decently well, read a couple of the books, and they're feeling pretty good at 4 to 6 months. Of those 8 to 9 people, of that 30 that came in, almost all of them will think they're recovered by 6 to 9 months because they're symptom-free. They are not. You are going to get massacred by OCD. You will. I have people that come back in after 2 to 3 years of being off who cry for 40 minutes straight for 10 calls in a row. It's just the reality. I was so good. I don't know what was good. I said, yeah, but you were doing these compulsions and that compulsions. I mean, people admit to me I was doing compulsions, but I had no symptoms. That's like saying I'm injecting drugs, but I didn't have an overdose, so I'm not going to have one. No. I mean, you're setting yourself up for disaster. You can't leave OCD recovery half done. It's not going to work like that. It will metastasize and take over your life again. You can tell what are the random, no science behind it, but good markers that I see when I would consider someone in a really good spot. Not only have they read all the books on the reading list, they usually read them a couple times. They're usually 2 to 3 years in or longer. They have done every exercise numerous times, but they've also given up on paper disputing because they realize they don't have to do that anymore and they have to allow it to come to them. They no longer worry if something is compulsive or not, or if it's avoidance or not, because they're not afraid of being wrong and they're not afraid of being stuck, which means they're okay with suffering for the rest of their lives. Even though they don't like it, acceptance doesn't mean agreement. That does not happen in 6 to 9 months. It took me, for me personally, because I was very stubborn and I was very close-minded, 3+ years to really fully embody that I don't need to recover. I don't actually need that at all. And I really wanted to recover, but I didn't need it. To fully embody that. I also have a complete acceptance that I have no idea if my OCD will come back really strong. I have no fear of something being wrong or not. But Nick, if I don't do this correctly, it's not good. How do I know if that's compulsion? Like I said, my brain doesn't even, there's no automatic rumination like that at all, zero. Could it come back? Could. I mean, I don't know. Maybe when my kid's born in March and he dies in the NICU and it sets my OCD off. You know how many people are even afraid to even just say what I just said? How could you put that out into the world, Nick? How could you manifest that? Like, I don't believe in manifestation. I don't believe in karma. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in just life randomness. And that's just what I believe in. There's plenty of people who will say I'm wrong, and that's fine. So, but, I have no idea. Erica gives birth to the kid at 35 weeks. He goes in the NICU and has an aneurysm and dies. My OCD goes fucking insane. I spiral into depression and everything. But I'm not afraid of those things happening because I realize it's so outside my control. I mean, the amount of people that come to calls who are like, I'm good. And I think in my mind, I'm like, you just said to me 3 times on this call, I know this is reassurance, but you're so far from good. And you are not going to hear this anywhere else. There's so much bad information on the internet about, most people recover in 6 months or 12 months. And if there's big channels that say this, if you're not recovered at 12 months, you're doing something wrong. I've seen things, big adult website addiction businesses tell people like, you should be able to get over your adult website addiction in 30 to 60 days. This is fucking insane. You've been watching adult websites for 20 years. 20 years. You are a full-blown addict. I don't talk about neurology because it doesn't matter, but you have no idea how strong the neuroplasticity is in your brain to fire in that direction, and plus all the beliefs and problems you have based around that. That's just one example. I haven't watched porn in 3 years and 8 months. First of all, how many people do I work with to actually get to 1 year? Very few. Out of 100 people, less than 5. Because it's very hard. It took me a while to get to even 6 months. I relapsed for 2 years straight over and over and over again. 30 days, 15 days, 3 days, 0, 0, 0, 0. How long did I have withdrawal symptoms for me personally? 1 year. 1 year. I was still having strong withdrawal symptoms up and down at 6 months. This reality that people don't want to accept, that they're like, no, I will definitely be different. You definitely will not be different. Most of you will actually even be longer than what I'm talking about. 2.5 to 3 years is like the average. Some people will take 5 years. It doesn't mean you're coming in for consistent calls. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you'll definitely want to have more upfront consistency. It's just part of the reality of life you're investing in your whole life. It's changed my career, belief systems, my work ethic. It's changed my relationship. It's changed how I view the world. There's so many benefits that came from changing my beliefs over a multi-year period. Now, can you be in a really good spot 12 to 18 months in? Absolutely. Are you susceptible to the largest relapses that could last 6 months, 18 months in? Absolutely. Some of the worst relapses I've ever seen in OCD recovery happened at that 18 to 24 month mark because they kind of left some things, it came back, it's okay, it's not, I'm going to be different, I'll leave a little bit here. I mean, this year alone, I have had at least a dozen people come back, a dozen people who have come back after 2 to 3 year gaps where we had to dive in and look at this is where you were going wrong here, this and that. I mean, I've had people that were like, I felt good for 4 years. I didn't even work with them. I was still on my journey a little bit back. Rob worked with them. I felt good for 4 years. And I say, what did you do in these triggering situations? Well, I would just tell myself it's just a thought. So you were doing compulsions the whole time. So OCD was brewing, the long guys outside, so I'll talk a little bit louder. OCD was brewing in the background and waiting and waiting and waiting for the right trigger. You are not different. In order to get to robust recovery, it takes a lot of confusion leaning into that. It takes a couple years minimum. Moment said on the webinar a couple weeks ago, when you first come in, check off 2 years on your calendar minimum. Just check it off. But then again, you have to stop counting. Like I'm 19 months in, like that doesn't, those are not even in my mind anymore. But it's natural to do that. Like there's so many different phases. But you're not going to outsmart this disorder. Your OCD is way smarter than you are. You could be the most intelligent person on earth. You have an IQ of 250. Your OCD's IQ is 3 million. It's way smarter than you think you are. And you have way more compulsions and way more avoidance behaviors than you even think. I had a couple calls like that today. Oh, I did not realize I was feeling good for 2 years. And I had one girl, she's great, she'll watch this. And everyone does this, that's in this scenario. I was like, I didn't have any compulsions. I don't have any compulsions. Now she went through a huge setback and she's like at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. Only one way is up. I mean, she was that low. Realizing that, wow, I had so many compulsions and avoidance behaviors. And you can't tell anyone anything when they're closed-minded. They'll just tell you, go fuck yourself. You know, depending on the personality. I mean, they might not say that to you, but they'll think it in their mind. I know there's a lot of people that are going to watch this video after everything I said and be like, still, that's not me. It is. It's you. 100%. It is you. There's so many examples. I have another girl right now. She came in for moral taboo related fears. 11 months ago, got really well, got really cocky. I warned her, I wouldn't call it victory. Oh, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. Guess what? Huge relapse, massive spike. Yeah. I mean, it's just the way it goes. I mean, people think they're Albert Ellis 4 months in. You're not. You're not even close. And I'm not putting you down. Like, this is the world we live in where they're like, you can't talk to me like that. Yes, I can. Because that's what you need to hear. You've been babied your entire life, many of us, including myself. I came from an absolute, like there was so much babying inside the tough love that and I don't blame anyone for it, my mom or my dad. I don't, that's a whole other topic, but whether something is traumatic or not, yes, there's varying degrees. I acknowledge that, but I focus on the things that are in the now because I can't change the past. You know, that's a whole other topic. But I don't blame my mom and my dad. They're just products of their own environment and not understanding belief systems and stuff like that, as most people don't. Even though it can be annoying at times, I have to, acceptance doesn't mean agreement. But, this reality, again, and I'll finish with this, is that I know it sounds repetitive, but you are not going to be able to outsmart this journey. You're just not. And the more cocky you are, the worse you leave the door open for OCD to just crank you. Could be 2 years from now. Could be 5 years from now. Our OCD is a tricky one. People will break up with their partners and think they're good. They think they're Marcus Aurelius. I can't blame them. I've done stuff like this. And they have no idea what's coming. Just the way it goes. We have to learn the hard way. Phil@ocdrecovery.com. Hope to hear from you soon. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.